Hello and welcome to this weekend's qualification report for San Diego Supercross. Before we get into today's video, the first issue of our magazine for 2024 will be released on the first weekend of February. To cut back on expenses and leftovers, we're releasing the magazine a bit differently this year. Instead of buying in bulk with a guess of how much stock we'll need, we are now implementing pre-orders the month before its release. This assures we order what we need. So if you want issue number 7, go pre-order a copy now or become a MagPass subscriber to get all 2024 copies. After pre-orders are closed, there won't be many available, and I can't assure that you'll be able to buy one, so go pre-order a copy now. Now, I've got some pre-qualifying info for you. So Jet Lawrence crashed on press day in practice. Rumor was that he may have injured his wrist, maybe sprained it. Steve Mathis of PulpMX claimed that he only jammed his thumb from what he had heard, so he was fine, but we did get a proper update on his condition late in the broadcast today, directly from Jet, so I figured I'd add that in real quick. Here's that.
Guys, I had an opportunity to catch up with Jet Lawrence. He said that crash yesterday, it was a slight hyperextension of his thumb. Went over to Alpine Star, got it checked out. Nothing broken, no damage, a little sore, a little ice, a little heat. And when I talked to him about how qualifying went, he said, good to go. Everything is feeling all right. Just a little scare from that camp, but all in all, he is going to be about 100% this evening.
Now, on top of that, just as qualifying began today, it started raining, and it started off with sprinkles, turned into a lot of rain, so they ended up canceling the rest of the session. But I'll give you what we got from the beginning of qualifying, starting with 250 qualifying session 1. Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha rider and current points leader Jordon Smith. He came out laying down a 50.931 second lap time. He threw down the fast laps right off the gate. They did do a gate drop because they didn't have any other time to practice with that, I guess. So he came out of the gate wicked fast right before the rain began pouring down. Smart play by him. He just stayed consistent throughout the entire session. No crashes, no cases, no sliding out, nothing fancy. Just rode a solid ride, which Smith has been doing so far this year. He's been pretty consistent, so maybe the veteran knowledge is finally paying off. But yeah, Jordon Smith, P1, started off pretty good today. Second place was Joe Shimoda. He went 51.076 seconds. Shimoda followed suit with Smith, and he got his fast laps in early. He jumped through the whoops late in the session as well, increasing his lap time. They kind of evolved to that towards the end when it got slippery. He learned that from Hampshire, who was a third place finisher. Hampshire got a 51.671, so they were all pretty close. Obviously, he looked solid throughout the entire session as well. Quickly made his way to P3. He was a little experimental throughout it. He had a couple lines that nobody else was doing, and as it was raining quite a bit, the hard pack surface got pretty slippery, and RJ began jumping the whoops, as I said. Shimoda and a couple other guys followed suit with that, but yeah, pretty impressive for RJ looking for different lines in the rain when it got slippery. So other than that, he looked pretty smooth. He did make a couple of mistakes, but overall, solid ride from RJ. A special mention for this session, Garrett Marchbanks, I think he was running 7th in the session. He got hurt. Not sure how much damage he did. I haven't heard anything yet, but it looked like his arm, he maybe broke it. He was holding it, not limping, but he was holding his arm as he was walking off the track. He slid out going past the pit area. I'll throw up the footage now. Just hit too much gas, got a little too slippery right there, right on the start straight. He landed on his arm pretty heavily, obviously. It sucks to see for sure, especially after getting a solid podium last week. We thought Marchbanks was finally going to turn his career around. He's been not necessarily struggling in the 250 class, but it hasn't been what he had done in the past, so sucks to see for that. But the rest of the results consist of 4th place, Julien Beaumer. Obviously, this kid's been killing it this year, so that's consistent with what he's been doing recently, but it's still impressive either way as he's a rookie. 5th, Max Miller. That's a pretty incredible finish for him. He's been obviously on the comeback as well after a couple injuries, and I think he had a pretty bad year last year. I don't remember where he finished, but 6th place, Talon Hawkins, pretty good for him. He's on a new team, AEO Powersports KTM. 7th, Ryder D, obviously new team as well. 8th, Levi Kitchen. He's been pretty consistent this year, but I think 8th is out of character. I don't remember what he finished in qualifying last weekend. I'm sure he could do better, but maybe he's not a rain guy. 9th place, Carson Mumford, and 10th, Mitchell Oldenburg, the MCR guys rounding out the top 10. All right, on to 450 qualifying session number 1. Ken Roczen, he came out of the gate on fire. Again, they did the gate drop for practice because they didn't do it in any other sessions. He laid down his fast lap early. I think it was actually it was either the first or second lap. He got the pole position and kept it the entire session. Race Day Live kind of ignored him, though, throughout the entire session, surprisingly. So not much to say about Kenny. I do believe Jeff Walker took to socials. I think Jeff Walker, the privateer, he was talking about how Race Day Live only focused on a couple guys throughout the session, which is kind of annoying. So I'm not the only one who saw that. Second place was Eli Tomac with a 52.223. He started off kind of testing the waters a bit as it was getting greasy out there. He was running about top 5 when he threw down a solid lap, almost as fast as Kenny, but fell just short. Either way, the old Eli Tomac is coming closer and closer to fruition, folks. Just as last weekend, I think we're going to see Tomac out front again. Third place was Chase Sexton. Again, him keeping it consistent on the new team, 52.307. He looked incredibly comfortable out there. He laid down some solid laps. He was making a couple mistakes here and there, I might add. He slid out a couple times, nothing major, just back end kind of lost traction, obviously slowing down his lap time. He did case a jump. I don't remember which one it was. It was a triple, though. Really hard, obviously losing his fast lap again. But other than that, he looks really, really good. Let's see if he can continue his impressively consistent year so far. I mean, it's kind of surprising. Even the team said they were kind of surprised about that because they figured it'd take at least a year for him to get comfortable on the new bike as he's been on Honda his whole career. But, I mean, he's taken to it really well. Hopefully we see Sexton do this good again tonight. Now let's take a look at the rest of the field. Fourth place, Jason Anderson. He's been doing pretty good this year as well. Last weekend he had a little bit of off weekend, but Dylan Ferrandis, again, keeping it consistent. This guy on the Phoenix Honda, obviously a support team, they're not factory. He's been kind of flying under the radar, keeping it consistent. He's been extremely good. A lot of people have been kind of ignoring him, and I believe it was Roto Moto, popular channel. He was talking about how Ferrandis might be the most underrated and maybe even hated rider in history. He just always is there in the right positions, doing great, and everyone just kind of seems to throw him out, put him to the side. No one really cares, so it sucks for Dylan, but solid fifth. Sixth place, Hunter Lawrence, kind of expected from him. Seventh, Justin Cooper, not too bad. Eighth, Jet Lawrence. He obviously is probably feeling that wrist, even though he said there wasn't much wrong with it, or the finger. He's probably still feeling that. He's probably lying a little bit, too. That's what they do. But ninth place, Cooper Webb, a little off for him, but he's still in the top 10. He was struggling a bit out there. I don't remember which section it was, but he looked a little slower than the rest of the guys. Then 10th place, Malcolm Stewart. Not too great for him either. Now, I normally don't really include the B session unless something important happens in it. And today's shorter since they canceled the sessions again, so I figured I'd add in the B session. Devin Simonson, he came out swinging right out of the gate, running right next to, I think it was maybe Freddie out front. I don't remember. I didn't see the video in a bit. Anyway, Devin Simonson crashed pretty hard in the whoops early. Just kind of slid out in the middle. Back tire lost traction in the center of the whoop section, and he slid out, landing on the concrete. It looks like he may have hurt himself. He kind of grabbed his arm or his shoulder maybe walking off the track, so he might have hurt himself. I haven't heard anything yet. Freddie Noren actually did the same thing later in the session. He got lucky, though. Seems to be fine. I'll throw up his footage on screen. He kind of just slid on his back, but overall, he was fine. He walked away laughing, it looked like, so nothing insane happened in this session. Mainly Benny Bloss and Vince Friese battling for pole in the session, but Friese ended up securing it. I guess he almost crashed on the 353 section at some point, but I didn't see it. I watched it, and I didn't see it. Maybe it was something you could only see at the track as the cameramen were kind of focused on only a couple guys throughout the session, so sucks I didn't see that. But, yep, Friese on top in that one. All right, just as last week in San Francisco, the rest of the qualifying got canceled again due to the rain. Obviously, nobody's going to lay down faster lap times than they already did as the track is underwater now, and the officials wanted to give the Dirtworks track crew more time to get the track as good as possible for the main event later tonight. Mike Pelletier was supposed to come out and announce it at some point, I guess, in the broadcast, but I sat there and waited for like a half hour for it, and he still didn't come out at the point I'm recording this, so it's really irrelevant. Anyway, I don't care. He wasn't going to say anything special except that it was canceled. I saw they announced it online, so it is confirmed. But, yep, first session results are the overall as well, guys. Kenny and Jordan out on top. Let me know what you think about that. Pretty impressive ride from those two. Well, that's all I got for this video. If you want to support me, you can become a member or head to my website, link in the description, and grab a magazine. Next month's issue is up for pre-order. But that's all I got today. They canceled the sessions, so thank you for watching. If you like my content, like and subscribe. Anything helps. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.